everyone, and welcome to Ume Survives Minecraft for no Minecraft for 100 days. And the only real rules of this challenge is to survive 100 days and without mining or crafting anything at all, not even punching grass with our fists. And yeah, I hope to get some diamond armor, but I think it's high time let's get started. I get really lucky and I spawn in a village, and while this is my 16th attempt, it's closer to more my 22nd attempt or something like that. But I make sure and go to all the chests and grab all the food and bundles. And you may be wondering how I got that big farm in my last run. Well, I have to jump and trample my crops like I'm zombies. And sometimes it's quick and sometimes, well, it takes a couple attempts. But I get these and then move up the hill and then head to the next village. And of course, that is why I am doing this after the 1.14 update. Um, because if you've ever tried to find a village before 1.14, well, you've probably didn't find the village. I of course take all the food and emeralds I can, as you probably guessed, villagers will be integral to this challenge. If you are a Minecraft expert like myself, what do you think the most important item would be in this? If you said anything except a bucket, then you're an idiot. That is exactly why I'm heading into a savannah, because at least in my experience, savannas are much more common to find buckets in. Whether that's true or not, I have no idea. As you can see, I get my first horse, and at least in my other attempts, I would spend the first 20-30 days traveling. In some of them, I would just travel until I died. Well, if I got that far at least. Something that you really get to appreciate in these travels, because I've spent many of hours on the road in this game now, looking at the scenery, you can really get an appreciation for how beautiful it can be sometimes. I come across another village and find two more horses, so I of course tame them and instantly sell out my best friend for a slightly faster horse and never look back, as you ought to do in life. Something else you get to appreciate is how to travel the world, and with mounts, with horses jumping on trees, or camels jumping over ravines and rivers. And well, camels got added actually while I was on like attempt. Is that a bucket day 4? The last attempt, and it's the only attempt I got a bucket in, was day 23. I'll be honest, I was talking out my ass with the savannah. Aren't you glad I fixed the day counter, by the way? So I filled the bucket and I happily hopped my way to the next village. Well, I actually find something unbelievable. A villager that sells hose. I mean, that's amazing. I thought I would have to find your mom in the yellow pages or something. So I immediately get to work. I clean up this farm and then expand it and take time planting the wheat. And I think that's a pretty impressive farm without mining a single block. And I immediately put out my lodestone, as I am not going to be using coordinates. And you can clearly see why the bucket is so important in this run. If I didn't have it, I wouldn't be able to break any grass or fill in these ugly holes to make even more farmland and beautiful scenery. The next morning, I get to work expanding farmland, mowing grass, and you can really see stone shine here. In all my other runs, I never got it, so I only used golden hose from ruined portals, and well, I got mending one. I get really lucky because I just go out in the middle of the night and harvest XP mobs, and well, you can guess how that turned out. But yeah, after I have more farmland than I do seeds, I plant all the seeds down, and the next day I make sure to expand all the farmland I can possibly get, making sure to stop for my OSHA enforced lunch break before the next morning harvesting my very first wheat, which gets me I'm really excited for the future, and I'm just taking it all in, and more farmland than I could dream of. Making sure I get all of the wheat my very best farmer is ready to harvest. That night I actually go out and make a map, and the next morning I see this ugly hole, so I decide to fill it in with water, which I think I'm gonna make a habit of in this video. And after I get that done, I get rid of the useless melon seeds and make sure to buy even more holes and fill in even more holes. After planting all of the rest of my seeds, I take a step back on the hill and just enjoy the view. And then I take a pee break, and I pee a lot, I'll be honest. But so does Luke the Notable, so it's okay. And the next morning, I spend way too much time running around looking for my horse, which I hope doesn't become a pattern in this video. I ended up just going to the horse field and taming a new one. There's still things I need. I don't have a farmer at my village actually, so I'm going out to look for a composter, and I end up finding a village. Near the village I spawned at and enjoying the sunset in the beautiful new cherry woods. Quiet is lovely, isn't it? Alright, I think it's time to do some creeper mining. And in case you don't know what that is, you grab your creeper, place the block down for safety, and wait for it. And there we go. And I tried to get the brewing stand, but that didn't work, so I just focused on the composter. And this one was good to spot, so I got it first try. The mobs are an issue though, but we got our friend here, and he's gonna take care of them for us. And after grabbing a couple more creepers, I say no to two and let it just blow up to get some dirt. Because I have died many of times of taking too many creepers on. So I try and lead this one over, and like I said the first time, I got really lucky because this one just poof, and it's gone forever. There's nothing I can do. So I then switch trying to get a chest. The composters are gone, but I don't end up getting the chest or the bed. So I cut my losses and I look for my horse. Unfortunately, my horse is missing again, so I'm wasting more time in the morning looking. The best thing I do to find my horse is to, well, just climb up as high as you can and look for the horses. And it's a trick. If you press F3, magically, hitboxes turn on. So I just didn't spot him right that way. So I get him and take him home. So why, of course, we put our lodestone earlier because we don't use coordinates because coordinates are cheating. And I stopped by a village actually to upgrade my map, so I start filling that out on my way home. And this map is starts out small, but well, let's see how we can get it, how big we can get it by the end of this. And that is, of course, what your dad said to your uncle last night. So I make it home and I find this villager. So I instantly just put the composter down and oh, that was lucky. If he was like selling beetroots or something, then there's nothing I can do. But we don't have to think about alternate universes, so I immediately trade all my wheat and get a bunch of emeralds, and then get really excited. So I harvest all of my wheat. That takes most of the day, so I go to sleep, and then the next morning I continue planting all of my seeds that I have been gathering as much as I can, and even start harvesting my potatoes as well, which is amazing. I even spend a booge out on a bunch of hoes, and it takes forever to do anything in this. So just harvesting and planting. Day 14 flies by, and it's day 15, and day 15 flies by again, and now it's day 16, and I'm still just harvesting and cleaning and putting more farm in. I had to stop and remember to trade all my emeralds, and the next day, after doing my morning chores, I head out, grab my horse, which again was a pain to look for, and head to the next village. There's a few too many zombies, but nothing a creeper won't handle. I want to get a chest so I can steal a lot of my wheat. I'm making my life so much it didn't break. But I got a bed, which means I can finally sleep in a proper house. The next morning, I find a creeper on my way back, so I use it to just collect some dirt. Few creepers out here. Nothing ever goes to waste in Minecraft, no Minecraft. But and I even found this not lovely dog on the way home, and I don't want him to get injured, so I sent him down. And after realizing I don't have a composter here, I leave the village. So I actually realized that dog was gone when I was editing this video, so if I make a sequel, maybe he'll return. Until then, well, I move on and try and get compost to the next village. Well, now that I haven't forgotten anything important, I head in the woods to see if there's any creepers left from last night, and there was, so try and get a chest, and nothing. So I cut my losses and just hop back home, which doesn't take too long, so I actually get some harvesting done on my farm, and it's about the sunset, isn't it? The next morning, I grab all the torches around the village and just make sure there aren't any dark spots. I then put a bed in the butcher and light the place up a little bit more. And that night I actually stay up and place a wall around, well, basically everywhere that has light. And of course, if there's any dark spots that I see, I'll of course place a torch down. Um, Everyone who's ever played hardcore Minecraft, it's so exciting getting your wall down. So I actually spent all of day 21 placing the wall down. So much so I ran out of dirt, so I had to go creeper mining in the middle of the night. And well, this is different creeper mining because it's for dirt, and it's far, far more dangerous because you have to deal with skeletons, and well, let's not deal with those. The next morning, I actually realized that it's day 21 still, and it's because, well, it's day 21 of the game. I don't know where I skipped today for day 0, but whatever, it's day 21 now. Also, you can see I don't have coordinates enabled. I find my iron golem here, but if you remember, golems can't swim. So I just, well, let's not think about him. Listen, if you've ever fallen into a hole and died on hardcore Minecraft, you'd understand, okay? I swear I'm not that heartless. I mean, like, you know how the creepers and the dogs and I mean, I'm very nice to my villagers. I mean, look, I'm even trading with them. I mean, like, anyway, that night I get back to creeper mining and I try and do it on the side of hills because you get more dirt for your buck that way. But I'm actually getting really, really successful this night. I'm getting a whole bunch of dirt, a whole bunch of creepers, not a lot of skeletons, and I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I missed a few times and I was a bit scary, but that's okay. Feeling so good, I don't even realize that I'm being followed, and I hope nobody's arachnophobic. So I don't know, there's a couple of spiders, but Creeper helps me deal with a couple of them, so it was okay. And I take it as I collect the string and take it as a sign that I've stayed up a wee bit too late, so I head in for the night. Then the next morning, I see my wheat field is fully grown, so I am now just experimenting, trying to harvest it as fast as possible. Because I was doing the really nice looking individual harvestings, but I have so many seeds and so many wheat plants that it just takes forever to do any field work in this, because I mean I can't mine or anything, but there's pre-made water holes in the acacia village, so by the time I'm still planting, the sun is setting and I get to enjoy that. But then it sets and I'm still planting way at night with 0 torches and not even a complete wall. I mean, like, I can't, it's not like I can get torches easy, but where do I get coal? Would I go down and mine it? No, I can't mine. And even if I did get coal, how am I gonna craft it? I can't craft. But I wanted to go out for creeper mining anyway, so I get started with that. Get 1 creeper and a little bit of seeds, because I need more of those. And then I get another creeper, and luckily there's no skeletons. And I do find a wandering trader actually, and spider jumps me, and this creeper gets whoa, that was way close. And then a skeleton appears out of nowhere and starts shooting me. So I run home, and hop over the wall, and oh, he gets me. And then I'm like, okay, okay, okay. I just need to eat and then go to sleep. And of course, I can't sleep, and I see a creeper outside my window, so I run off and explode him. I wanted a hole here anyway, so I just take advantage of that, get a little bit more dirt, and then find the thing making it so I can't sleep. And this is when I realize I don't have a weapon. I never explored enough to get it, because I didn't even find a ruined portal with a gold axe or anything, so I'm having to punch him to death while hoping a creeper or a skeleton or anything that doesn't wander into this open door. But I get him, and instead of going to bed, I decide to take the dirt I've collected that night and fix up the wall by that farm. I get all the way done. Luckily, this natural ravine helps me. So I just place this block down and realize I should have placed it over here so that zombie can now get inside. And great. So I just run in, staying up way past my bedtime once again, and go in for the night. But the sun was already rising, so I just stand and watch the sunrise while thinking how lucky I am to be alive. And then, of course, the next day I get back to planting because no rest for the wicked, eh? But I seriously, I want to get diamond armor, so I have to make these huge wheat fields, but take still another entire day just to mine. So that night, while I take my ocean mandated pee break, and I let my crops grow, so the next morning they're ready to harvest again. So I am still trying to do it as fast as possible, because even though I started harvesting right when I woke up, 10 minutes later, I am just now getting back to planting. Because I mean, like, look at my inventory. And the next morning, I actually keep planting and then just take a step back and enjoy. Look how much I have done in 25 days of Minecraft, no Minecraft. Remember, no mining and no crafting, just trading with villagers. And I just didn't enjoy the sunset and enjoy being rich that night. Then the next morning I get to work filling in this ugly hole right here, and make a nice little river, and I actually want it to look really nice, so I messed with some custom waterfalls right here. And I say custom because I flow at weird directions, and I take experiment and I get this really big one that I think looks really nice. And I add in a couple more, and yeah, it's really nice. Then I just start mowing the grass, which is what I think everybody uses the water bucket for instead of harvesting their wheat. but uh, but I just take time doing that, and the sun's setting, and by the time I get it mowed, I think it looks pretty good. The next morning, I realize it's been a while since I gone out, so I take a swim to my horse and head down to the next village where I finally get myself a weapon, so we won't have to worry about spiders anymore. I travel pretty far and am rewarded with this lovely view. I actually am at the village I spawned at, so I kicked this villager out of bed and went to sleep. And the next morning, I happened to be a hero of the village for once, and all of the zombies. I mean, this is the village I spawned at, right over there by that tree. So I guess I want to protect it now. I ignore all the creeper holes, okay? The next morning, the journey continues. I head south looking for ruined portals or any structures, really, and I'm genuinely glad it's raining. Why wouldn't it be raining? Well, whatever. It's not gonna stop me traveling. I travel through this field and actually come across another village, which is exciting. So I go in and check out what they have, and like, there's this house blocked out by a tree, and I look through the window and hey, that's a blast furnace. Of course, the house I would need for armor is blocked by a tree, and I can't get it, and there won't be any villagers. There's a blacksmith next door, so I actually am rewarded with a spear and a chest plate, which is really exciting. That's because that's my first spear in Minecraft. This was supposed to come out well before Freeza Day, My horse is missing again. Again. So I have to go looking for him, and I decide to go look in the water because it's my horse. And sure enough, there he is. So I hop down. It'll be okay, everyone. Even if you don't think it will be, it'll be okay. That night I actually stay up and we go out and look for creepers and testing out the spear because I have no idea how this works. But you see me trying to crit with it, but I will figure it out, I swear. And I do find one creeper, and so after dealing with the spider, I lead him over to try and get into the house with the blast furnace, because, owls may need armor. So I lead him over, blow up, and well, that didn't actually open it up at all, so I have to do it again. So I then go out again, and I finally learn how to use the spear and learn just how cool you can feel while using one. I mean, come on. So I get a little excited about it and just take on every mob I can see while looking for creepers. I, of course, battle all of the zombies, and honestly, this is probably one of my favorite things they've added to Minecraft in a long time. Like, oh, when can you have this much fun killing zombies? I even get a piece of iron from it, which is my first iron apparently. But I get cocky and go out and battle a skeleton with an enchanted bow, and he only gets one hit or two hits on me now. But there's this entire time I've been looking for creepers and there hasn't been any. I don't even really care because these spears are just so much fun. Oh, and I can actually show what I do when I break grass. That was my first grass I broke accidentally. I just throw out a piece of food, whatever the most valuable one is. And it's actually like, I think it was the first time breaking a block and I guess failing the challenge right there. But after the rain stops, I get a creeper and it's a little scary, but I get him to blow up and he unfortunately destroys the grindstone, but I get a furnace out of it, so that's exciting. And then I find this wandering trader who I buy dye from, and actually then I realize something even better. He can sell me buckets, which that's amazing. So I just buy all of the buckets I can, and he sells out. So I have 4 more buckets, so now I can eat lava and more water and be amazing. Um, and I leave another creeper in and finally get into the house. And I go out looking for another creeper when I hear no idea what the noise is. I have no idea why the lava is spreading and burning the house down. That's very strange. But anyway, now that nobody was hurt, I head off to this next village. But it ends up being abandoned. So and all the residents are dead. But there's a composter here. So after looting it and getting a replacement for my helmet that broke the night, I waste some time until sunset so I get that composter and see a room portal way off in this huge river. And can you imagine trying to do this before they added the swimming horses? Anyway, why did that take so long, Mojang? But anyway, I get to the ruin portal and in the chest there's nothing too useful except a flint and steel actually. But then I just head back to the abandoned village and wait for nighttime and test out these spear on these pigs. And honestly, I just love it. I love this spear. It's a shame I can't craft these in this because I want so many of them. Because I mean, like, come on, I'm just killing pigs and it's fun. But I find this creeper and so I lead him over to the composter. When that was a little bit scary, but I just hop on my horse and go around. And I realize it's a great opportunity to have a duel, so I say time to joust. And okay, that was too close. I have to block myself in, trying not to block myself of into a hole that I can't get out of, because last thing I want to do is starve to death in a hole I put myself in. And just when I get myself in, a baby zombie had walked up, and I think that probably would have been the death of me if I didn't get this build. But after healing, I hop out of the hole when another zombie walks up and I go slash at him. But he gets 2 hits on me really quickly. After dealing with them, I, of course, throw out an apple because I broke a piece of grass in the process. Can't forget. I head back to the village to try and find my horse, and I can't find him. So instead, I focus on trying to compost because sunk cost fallacy, right? But here, I almost die here from a creeper sneaking up on me, and so I try and kill him, and then another creeper comes up, tries to kill me. So I kill one of them and try and get the other one, but there's so many mobs coming in, I don't think I have time to do it, so I just try and blow them up by the composter just to get it, and then I want to get out of here, and it just gets destroyed anyway, so that was all for nothing. That's okay though, but I hate this village. I just don't want to be here anymore, and I cannot find my horse anywhere. I'm sick of being here. I'm sick of not having a horse, so I just start burning everything down. Everything in the hay bales to the farms, everything that will light, I start burning up because I just don't want to be out in the dark. I'm looking for my horse, and it actually does work pretty well lighting up the village. So, but I unfortunately don't find my horse, and even more unfortunately, I just can't burn down the church. Not for lack of trying, mind you, but eventually, after dodging a bunch of skeletons, the sun finally starts rising. So I just switch it to day 30 right there keep looking for my horse, but the skeleton won't leave me alone. I try and get close, but he's just the best skeleton in the world, so he gets so many hits on me. I end up just running away and letting him burn. I do find another creeper, so hopefully I can get something out of it, but I can't find another one from the blast furnace, so I have to go look for my horse. And of course, where do I find my horse? In the water, because he loves taking a bath, blah 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 blah. But I head back to the other village to try and just get the blast furnace here to actually have a villager just so I can buy an armor. And this annoying villager stands in this corner you can't get them out of except with a water bucket or hitting them. So me and this guy actually kick him out of the house. He gives him the last little final push he needs, and then he becomes my armor, but not before getting stuck in a different corner. So I block him in until he trades in the armor, and once he does, I just make sure he can get back inside so we can restock my trades. But hopefully one day he'll sell me diamond armor. But for now, I just try. Whoops, I try and not miss jumps and screw this village. I am sick of being here. I hate it. I hate this village. I hate the last village. I just want to go home and see my piggies and see my farmer and everybody. I never want to come back here again, but of course I'll have to. And I head out of the night, but I actually have to turn around and go to sleep. And I didn't end up killing him because, well, I didn't want to have to pay more for my time in armor. And anyway, I travel through a jungle and a dark oak forest, just beelining it straight home because I am sick of almost dying every other day. And I finally make it home and say hi to my horse and even plug in a hole that I almost fell in, and then immediately almost fall into another hole, and that would have been really bad. Well, I probably would have died, but I didn't want to lose my horse or my dignity. And I am finally home. And I am just happy to be alive. Just thinking of everything I almost lost. That was a rough outing. I don't want to go out for a while again. The next morning, I get up early and decide to mow the grass and just do a bit of housekeeping around the house. And well, I definitely need to harvest this wheat I've been neglecting, so I get right to work doing that. And it ends up taking all of a day just to replant it again. So at night I climb the mountain next to my house and just stare at my compound, or I guess it's a village right now. And honestly, I think it's better to think of it as a home. Next day, I decided to put a few creeper legs in with the creepers from last night. Uh, decided to put one right there and one right here, and put more farmland, and just honestly make the land look a bit prettier, I think. But always for that little bit more farmland. And so I immediately put it in, and it's barely wide enough to have a little pathway between this farm and that farm. But there's a bit of grass here, so I mow it and all day, spend all day doing that. So by the end of it, I'm putting the seeds down and getting a bit of emeralds for my villagers. And the next morning, I go and go to plant potatoes, and I decided to do it these little stripes because I think it'll look pretty. And well, I just get to work harvesting and trading and waking up, and I realize it is day 36 now. So well, I hope you enjoyed day 35. It was a lovely time. And then I just get crunch time. I realize feast day is coming up, so I really want to not be working on anything. So that night I decided to go out for some creeper mining to get dirt, and well, I almost, I was just not wanting to die, so I decided instead I would go out and look for some lava because I had a great idea. And so I grabbed 3 buckets of lava using my new things, and I do end up grabbing some creeper mining with the flint and steel, which I forgot you can do last time, but well, I've died doing it this way anyway, but trying to get as much dirt as possible. And it was all in all a pretty successful night. I even did a bit more practice on these zombies that were following me while I was trying to get it, but I lose my pants, so I have a bit less protection because they were enchanted. But I have done this now hundreds of times, so I'm pretty good at it. Day 37, I forgot to record, so here is me doing some composting on day 38. Well, I'm sorry, it took me a while to not record though, so that's pretty impressive for me. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little musical interruption. That was dog, by the way. Well, I decided with all the rest of my dirt, I'm finally gonna fix up the wall and actually do this part of the hill that I was really dreading on doing last time. So I get top, make sure no zombies can get over, and even finish up connected to this house right there. And I think that's, if I'm looking, that's about a third of the wall done. So I just sit in the sunset, and here is the good idea I was talking about. Cobblestone generated wall. I had never even considered this before this point, and it revolutionary. Honestly, if I mean, obviously it's not necessary. It has a few flaws, as you can see, but I get better at it, and it definitely takes a bit of time. But this one layer of dirt really helps. I just fly through this section of the wall. I mean, look at this. This revolutionized me building this wall. And the only thing you have to worry about is burning the trees down and burning yourself down, so we care about that. And any offshoot blocks you have to fix. But because of that, I got this entire section of the wall done. That is amazing. I almost died from lava, but that didn't really count. It's better than creepers. Anyway, happy feast day, everyone. And happy feast day, pigs. First time I bred an animal on feast day, so I'd make sure and buy cakes for everyone and buy a splurge on golden carrots for myself, selling them out, and even buying pumpkin pie, and of course giving all of the villagers food, feeding the coop that I don't think I actually showed me making because I don't think I was recording that, but making sure everyone gets fed on feast day, going back, buying suspicious stew. I decided to finally use the smoker for the only meat I could find, some lava bucket chicken, which was honestly a coincidence. So I freshly baked one lava bucket for one chicken per Jack Black. But now I had time to go pass up the cake, so I give I give the villagers plenty of cake, give my pigs plenty of cake, and I realize it's raining on feast day. So I'm glad I live in a savannah. It's a really lovely village. So I go out and I get my horse and I bring him to another horse and I give them each a cake and even give them some golden carrots to munch on together. And yeah, I decided to also tame this horse too because I didn't realize I didn't tame him. Um, after that, I make sure and give them golden carrots. I don't have any hay bales though, so I can't breed them, unfortunately. But on my way back, I almost fell in the hole again, so I give it a piece of cake because I think it was angry it didn't get one before. But I go back to my home and make sure to give the best villager a cake all for himself. And well, happy feast day, guys. Just throwing carrots and hopefully get a few more villagers. But time for my lava bucket chicken as the sun is setting. Happy feast day, everyone, and thank you if you've watched this far. It was a journey, and honestly, tearing up thinking about it, and I took many, many attempts and long hours. Happy feast day, and thank you. The next morning, I go out and I decide to stroll through my lovely field and find some emeralds along the way, and looking for some more lava because I wasted all of it for the lava bucket chicken. Well, I guess it wasn't really a waste, but I get home and I go and extend the wall a bit more. But I experiment and end up accidentally burning the tree down and flooding my farm. I try and save it, but yeah, it's kind of hard to fight fires with a water bucket because I can't punch the fire out. Because, no mining, which is a real no mining run, so. Well, I know it looks ugly, but give it a bit of love and dedication, and your child will stop being so ugly. Well, maybe not yours, but I almost set myself on fire. I do set myself on fire and waste my water bucket, so I have to go grab it from the farm. And but it's seriously though, this tactic may be very sloppy, but can you imagine how much time and creepers it take to get that much dirt? But the next morning, I keep on going because I really want to get this wall done, and I experiment a few more times. I'm trying to get it. It's really working on this dodgy terrain is hard, and light myself on fire a few more times and flood the same farmland. Now I get annoyed, so I just let it flow out just to get this one block down, and then go to bed. And next morning, get back to work. It's time. Is this where I start singing? I just wasted another lava bucket. You can see every time I waste a lava bucket, there's a piece of obsidian on the wall. But I just keep switching where I'm building up the wall and just keep a work on it, cause well, it's not gonna build itself, right? But I set this tree on fire. I was really trying to save it because it was a lot of work, but we're doing a lot of work. But I just go to bed for the night. The next morning, I still haven't harvested my wheat in a long time, but the wall is more important. So I fix up the post with a few acacia blocks I've gotten from creeper explosions at villages. I mean, workplace accidents. Um, and decide to extend the wall even more out here, build it up like it's a castle wall or something. And it takes all day just to do this because it still takes a long time to do anything in Minecraft. And I set another a tree on fire. But this one, nope, never mind. I thought I had it, and well, that's just how it goes sometimes, I guess. But I do get this little stub out, and so I can be part of the wall, I guess. But I mean, again, what is it? Building a wall, building a wall, I'm building a wall with my lava and cobblestone. Building a wall, building a wall. I mean, what can I say? I'm just building a wall. It just is so much important work. But I think I finally, on day 46, have a fully walled in village in Minecraft. No, Minecraft. I can't stress you enough. All of this, not a single block broken, except some grass when I was fighting mobs, or crafted ever. Not even in the 2 by 2. And so I head off to the next village, and I'm so excited and decide to grab all of the torches around the village to light up my own village. And I always remember to enjoy the sunset when I can. That on my way home, it's nighttime, so I think it's the best time, and hop, it's the best time to light the village up. So I just go ahead, and good thing, because a zombie with an iron sword strolled into the village. So I keep on going. This is why the creepers just spawn in the village. I can't have that. And I finally fix that one block I misplaced at one time long ago, and deal with even more mobs. But at the end of the night, I think that's all of the dark spots. I guess I will find out when there is a zombie killing me in the middle of the night. But let's hope that doesn't happen. Honest, this is just breathtaking. I could not imagine. Hey, there's a zombie to kill me in the middle of the night. Oh wait, I hate baby zombies. Oh my, that almost killed me. So I just head to bed, and the next day finished working on the wall, trying to get this looking prettier. And honestly, I think it's starting to come together. Try and make this cool little staircase into it. Just anything I can do to just make it look even prettier. I mean, I so far, I mean, that's a pretty impressive wall. But I decided to extend it out a few more blocks and put these little guardrails up. Fun game. Take a shot every time I light myself on fire with lava. um, you die faster than I do. uh, but I got my wall down, and so I decide it's time to not neglect these crops. Last 51 days, I need to get more emeralds, or I'm never gonna get diamond armor. So I get to harvesting, fixing the pieces of wheat I broke, and I even forget to extend the farmland into this little part right here. And now that I have a wall, I can actually farm all the way through the night. So I decide I had to do that, and remember to put all of my stripes in, because I'm still thinking it looks pretty, because it does. And next morning, I think about where I'm gonna build my house. But I don't really know what I'm gonna do yet, because what am I even gonna build my house out of? So I just climb up my wall and think about it and admire its gloriness. Wait, use these useless melon seeds to breed my chickens together that are probably never gonna be useful. And I decide to go out even more, because I don't know what I'm gonna build my house out of. So I just go out looking for anything really, and I come across that I completely forgot villagers sold shears. I was shocked and just stood there staring at it for a moment, and decided that one was not enough, and just buy all 6 of them. Just so happy, I just start shearing his own sheep, and start exploring more, shearing all of the sheep along the way, and seeing my first cherry grove biome, and it looks beautiful through this little archway. Genuinely my favorite biome. They added, too bad I can't use any of the wood. But I make sure to jump over creepers and shear all the sheep on my way home. Needing love taps from zombies. Find this village that along the way, and make sure to loot the chests and kill all the zombies. Stop by the village that I found the shears at to shear the sheep one more time, and then keep heading home, and come across this big hole I was following, and this beautiful view of this lovely biome, the best biome in the game, where I actually find another dog. So now you can get over that one dog that I completely abandoned. Well, I decide that now that I have a family dog, this is where I'm gonna build my house. Where my first farm was, where I harvested my first wheat at the beginning, all the way back in the early before day 10. And well, it takes all day again just to do a little bit to clear this one farm. It's why I was neglecting the farms for a while, because I just take so long. But I decide the next morning I need to go collect some sheep and go out and kill some chickens. So while I do so, and I got a sizable whole crowd of sheep. Use the brown wool I got fixing that ugly walks. I had dirt, and I decided not to make a pen because I can't delete the pen afterward. I feel like I'm being oh yep, I was being followed. But well, a hard day's work, so I hit the hay on with my pigs, make sure phantoms don't spawn, and the dog. Next morning, of course, shear all of my sheep and realize I have a new butcher, which is exciting. But and then I didn't even think I could use the dye like this when I bought it. I didn't think about it, but now I have lime green wool, which is awesome. Gets me excited. So I finally commit to the house being here and plant all of the water spots that none of which I placed. All those were natural because I can't get them back. Next morning, I decided to do a little time lapse. Hope you enjoy it. In a lovely, lovely village, and just enjoying all of my house and all of my hard work. This is amazing. And again, cleaning up, mowing the grass in front of my house, and then I decided to put the foundations down, the cobblestone. Remember, every block I place, every single one is permanent. I can't get rid of it unless I have TNT, but then I'm gonna get rid of more than just what I want. So, so it can get a little bit annoying placing these blocks down, a little bit spooky with the villagers running around. But I have a lot of practice from the wall, so I get this foundation down really quickly, and then decide what I'm gonna do and change my mind actually because again it's permanent, and so I decided to extend the house even more and finally not put it down. The next morning I find out that my village is expanding. Both these villagers are new, and I realize I also don't have enough workers at all in my village, and so I just spend some time with the chickens and head out wanting to get some more workstations for my villagers, and of course getting all of the wool I can, all of these brown sheep that I find. I even find some new fancy big horned cows, which are pretty. And oops, that hurt a little bit, but that's okay. It's where we get golden carrot. I decide to stop and enjoy the sunset. I know I stop a lot and enjoy it, but I have almost died so many times. I just want to make sure I enjoy the little moments. And then I hear that noise as the sun finally sets, and I really don't want to have to deal with it. But the longer I wait, I know it's gonna be bad, because pillagers are not great. So I try and ignore it as long as I can. When they start adding the stars twinkling like that, it really is pretty. Okay, it's time to do this. Alright, where are they? I go down, I look for them, I think about drinking my potion, but don't do that. Instead, I decide to lose my pants, and then I realize I'm basically out of armor, so my dog hops down there. I worried he's gonna die, so I jump down to try and save Puppy, but I instantly, because my armor's gone, almost die, and I can hear Puppy dies. Unfortunately, Puppy died saving my life, so I run back to the village that I was close to, and but fortunately Mallory is still alive, and my footage actually got corrupted for us that day, so we're cutting to day 56 where the guardian of this village is saving my life. Too bad they couldn't save Puppy. It's okay. I go around and shear all the sheep when the sky. Oh, that is so ominous. But sky turns dark and I get shot at by a trident, and so I go back to the village before I die. And at the village, I actually see lightning strike a little bit away from me, and that is scary. I do not want to die by a lightning strike. So I go into this house and find there's a mason there. So I want to drop a creeper in here to get that clay so I can get just a bit of emerald. And I could get one inside and blow it up. And it gives me a little bit of clay, but not enough for trading. So that was kind of useless. So I lead another try to leave another creeper in there, but then that is when I decide that is enough for creepers, and I just quit and moved in this house that clearly Herobrine burned down. I don't know what happened. And on the way back, of course, the skeleton horse spawns, because why wouldn't it? But nothing little hiding in water like my horse always does. Will fix it. But on my way back, I actually noticed that the skeleton despawned, so that's exciting. So I go sleep and save this guy, because I'm of course a hero of the village always. And I even find a pink sheep for my good karma. So I take both of them back and bring all the way back to the village. And I decide to finally start working on my house more. And I placed my door down, and I was gonna place it over there, but it decided that wasn't what I was gonna do. So instead, I have my double doors on this side. But it's exciting nonetheless. So I go to sleep, and in the morning, I place logs down around the doors. As remember, all of these are permanent, and so I make sure to extend it a little bit more and put even more blocks down. And a wandering trader spawns, so I get a few more dyes and remember to do a little bit of chores. And every night I'm going out and getting more sheep into my little village. When I hear zombies are attacking my village, I don't know if they spawned in or they got in, but luckily this llama is here to save me. Just like in the other village, llama's always taking our back. But I see where the zombies spawn on, or sorry, climbing over. And so after getting snuck up by a baby zombie, I take care of them with the help of Mallory and fix the wall up a little bit. And next morning, I of course get more sheep in the village and go out looking for even more after that when I remember this ugly hole and spend the entire day filling it in, make it look pretty. Isn't that nice? But the next morning, I decide to not let the llamas despawn this time and tame them. After which, I of course expand my house even more, a little, just building on it a little bit every day. And this is the point where I decide to actually start farming pigs because, I have potatoes, I have the space, so I decided why not. And, and so I of course breed them. And isn't it nice that you can share leads off of animals now? I also realized that there's a block there that I almost left for mobs to come in. And I realize I have definitely been neglecting the farm, so I get to work because without emeralds and without wheat, I'm never gonna get diamond armor. But so I really need to start focusing on that more. And I make a piggy waterfall, trying to get even more pigs down. And I realize I never and then I actually go out in the horse field and I find a lovely mother, and I'd bring her home into my house. And I realized that I actually never showed you my butcher switched from selling chicken to buying pork. And I unfortunately wasn't recording day 63. And just like you guys are angry at me, this couple is angry for spying on them. But I just built this little piggy pen, which I then, of course, the next morning go out and mow the grass in and breed the pigs a little bit. I then get to work harvesting my crops again, and actually it takes all day again to just harvest and plant everything, so I don't even get all of it done. And I realize that my sheep are escaping up this nice wall, trying to let them in. I let a zombie in. After killing him, I of course build a little bit up on my house, and then I go to bed for the night. And day 65, of course, I am a professional, so I don't record it. So you missed me building out my little a bedroom right here, and I'm wanting to make it really colorful, so I'm doing a custom flooring. Of course, the crops won't harvest themselves, so I get to work on that. And then while I think about what I want to add to my bedroom floor, I place this jungle saplings I got from the Wandering Trader down on the hill. And then I decide I'm going to put some cherry wood in my bedroom. And honestly, I think it's a good idea. I like purple. I think that looks pretty good for a little flooring. I put my one stair here that I got from war crimes, I guess. And I put this weird banner in front, but I'm not really sold on it. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with it. I decided to move these flowers. Luckily, I can flowers, and I replaced them with some pink cherry woods put it on both sides, and then I decided to put some white wool down on top of this, and I think it's looking pretty good so far. And I decide that I don't actually like this part right here, so I'm gonna try and do a controlled burn, and I get scared, and so I do it later that night, and I light it on fire, and it scares me, and I of course can't punch the fire out, so I set myself on fire, panicking and panicking. Didn't set the tree on fire, but I destroyed a bit more than I like, but I got what I wanted broken. That's why you gotta be careful with what you place, cause I can't. I just was trying to break one piece of brown wool. Anyway, got it looking pretty nice. The next day, I think I was pretty out of it, so I just wandered around most of the day, and then went out to the horse field where this hole I always fall in, and decided to fill it in, so if I ever fell into it, it wouldn't be so bad. And it took all day, so I just head home, and the next morning I decided to go out again to the village where the I bought all my shears at, breed the sheep, of course, and sell all of the wool here. And I didn't even realize that I could sell the wool at the village, but it takes all day. So at nighttime, I decide to again start working on my crops. And the next morning, I realized, you know what day it is. Funny number days. So therefore, breed every single mob in it. Not a single mob doesn't gets left out of day 69 festivities. And I even get a couple of new colors of wool. I even hang out with your mom, just like how her coworkers would hang out with her. And then I go around making the place look prettier, fixing up the pathways, and cheering the baby that grew up, and his little puppy. I don't have a name for the baby of 69, so if you have any suggestions, please feel free. And the next morning, I decided it's finally time to deal with all the sheep that are wandering uh, a uh, my village. So I start building a little fence line out of all of the colors of wool, just trying to get it random looking. Once I get it done, the next day I start leading all of the sheeps in here, and I don't have torches to light it up yet. Once I get a couple of my sheeps in there, and I do have a lot more sheeps in this, but I get distracted making it look a little prettier by it. So I make it this small little lake right here, and even add a waterfall on the mountain where the piggy waterfall was. But obviously this one will be permanent, and I find a couple of sheep up here, and I guess a cow that follows me. So I bring them down the waterfall, and yeah, I think it looks pretty nice. Might put another border behind if I ever get it. But I then wait for all my sheep to gather up, shear them as I go, and lead them all in, and even have a second waterfall, I guess. The next morning, I I realize I've been neglecting the chickens after I've slaughtered them for no reason because my butcher changed. So I get all my eggs and start throwing them in there. As I've been, I don't I don't ever use this thing, but it's nice to remember it exists. But and I actually put down a little funeral pyre for the iron golems right there. The next day, I realized that the day counter is off, so I fix that real quick and then get to work harvesting because it is day 100 coming up, and I'm still in a broken iron chest piece that I found in a village chest. But so I just crunch time breeding all of the sheep and making sure to shear them, and it's at the point that they grow wool faster than I can shear it, and I don't have enough inventory space to store everything because I don't have any chests. I couldn't get any from the villagers when I tried to blow them up with the creepers. I never got TNT, and I of course can't craft them in Minecraft. No Minecraft, that would be insane. So but I really do want this place to look nice. So I start fixing up the terrain and even get rid of some of the farmland. Yeah, I just try and make the place look prettier, and of course taking care of all the chores. The jungle trees even grown really tall. It's but I want to climb up it, so I of course put a place down for me to jump down so I don't die of fall damage. That's something I really work on. I don't know if you remember the beginning of the video, but I do not want to die of fall damage. But yeah, the next day I check on my day 69 potatoes that I planted. I don't actually think I showed me planting it, but it's okay. I also start a beetroot farm by this house because I have more farm than I know what to do with, and I find this hole in the wall that has been here the entire time, and I'm just glad it didn't kill me. But I get back to work, and the next morning I sell all of my wheat that I've grown, and I'm just focusing purely on farming right now because I really want to get my diamond armor by the end of this. And of course it's going to take a lot of time and effort to do that, and all day, and to just do all of this. The next day, of course, I get to work shearing the sheep and breeding all of the ones that I can sell. I can sell the wool of. And the next day, I take the skeleton horse out to to the village with the shepherd in it to sell some wool, and I put that little plotch down to try and see it on the map eventually. But this zombie actually broke a door, so after throwing a carrot out because I broke a piece of grass, I replaced the door of the shepherd's house, even though that would have been a really nice block to have. And he actually sells me magenta wool, which I don't actually have dye of, so it's really nice to get new colors of wool, and I can finally get beds too, which is really exciting because I can finally get a lot more villagers at my place, and I even get some paintings. And next day I discovered that there's actually two shepherds, and I didn't even realize it. And this is the guy I'm selling my stuff to, so I get some emeralds out of him and sell everything I can, and even buy some carpet to decorate my house with, and that unlocks even more trades and more colors of bed. So I full inventory, head home, excited, and place some brown wool in down because I don't have any dirt left, and put this little lake down right here by this pathway because I think it'll look nice, and I think it does. I think that really adds a lot to the terrain. And time to try and do a carpet in this. I'm not really good at carpeting, and it's a lot of I don't have a lot of options. So I get this, and I think about making like a T shape, but I really don't like that, so I get rid of all of it. But I end up with this kind of more random pattern, and I like that a lot more. So I then place down my beds at the sunset, which, well, good night, everyone. Apparently, I was asleep because I didn't even realize I didn't record day 84, which is sad, but that's okay. On day 85, I harvest my potatoes, and I wanted to see how many wheat emeralds I get compared to selling wheat, and so I go and test it out, and it's a lot less than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. And you can see I put the magenta down on my house, and I built this villager breeder over here, and spent a long time on the painting on the side because you can use a spear to fix paintings without mining it, but it doesn't work because I don't have a door because I picked that shepherd's house in the other village. That's okay though. And the next morning I decide to work on this ugly part of the wall because I just don't know what I really want to do with it, so I flood part of it, but I don't really know what to do, and I'm out of lava, so I have to go out and search for a lava field, which takes a little bit, but I see a fire in the distance, which helps me get it, and I make sure to pay attention on the map where it is so I can forget about it later. And then I head back home to Uega to hopefully work on the wall and make it a bit bigger. But right now I'm in time to breed the pigs and to shear the sheep, and it took all day, so the sun's setting, which is of course nice to see, but I get distracted, finish harvesting those potatoes that are not worth it, and at night time I go to check to make sure there's no creepers in my sheep pen, because the last thing I want to do is die from a creeper explosion. And I actually enjoy the sunrise with my sheepies. and I hope they enjoy it with me at least. The only thing you guys enjoy is getting fed right, just like my son. But I sell all my potatoes that are still not worth it, so I harvest my wheat and have fun with my horse and go out and go out to the shepherd village to sell more wool and shear the sheep along the way, of course, and get a few more emeralds just from selling the wool. And I'm really just trying to save up. And a zombie actually sneaks up on me and tries to break the door down, I have the idea to try and get him inside so I could get the door for my villager breeder. So I trap him inside, almost kill him with my sword. I even get a little kitty, which is awesome. If you guys have a name, please let me know because I didn't name him. There's a couple of zombies there, so I set my cat down and I go to kill him. And there's a few more zombies, and then I realize it's an actual invasion. That zombie that I slashed a few times, well, apparently he called in backup, so I'm now like Grimes in a tank stuck on except now I'm on a roof, but I grab my spear and I just keep poking them all, poking and stabbing them, and there's so many of them that my spear actually ends up breaking on the copper armor guy, but I got my enchanted iron sword I got from that one the village trader, so I use that to clean them all up, and it's a tough fight through the night, but I have a lot of mob experience, so I handle it. Sometimes you just need to relax with a kitty. I hope you enjoyed. I actually see this bat by near the Shepherd's Village, and it's the first time I'm actually getting a proper look at the new bat model, and it is actually really nice. I like it. I like what they did. It's very cute. So I hop my way home, happy to survive, and sad I lost my spear, but it's okay. I hop into my pigs and get home, and well, I decide that it's time to fix this overcrowded pen, uh, and want to see how many emeralds I can get from one full harvest. So I find my butcher and I sell my pork, and I realize, just like the potatoes, it absolutely was not worth it. But I do get some food out of it, so I can buy more meat, and I even get a new weapon to as a backup for one of my sword. And I just spent some time in the Iron Golem remembrance and next to the villager breeder that is now fully functioning, and love enjoying the fireflies in the air. It is such a nice feature. They've been Mojang have been doing such a lovely job with Minecraft nowadays. They really need to pat themselves on the back. Anyway, the that night I decide to actually expand my house a little bit, and I put this light blue wool on this side, and I put some blue down right here and some white pillars down because I really want this to be really colorful, of course, because I got all the wool, so why not? And I decided to put some yellow down. Once again, I realized I've made a mistake. I don't like that these two blocks are here, so I have to do another controlled burn, but this one is way more professionally done. I only lose one extra block and only drown one villager, but that's okay. And I decided to mix in some blue ice or some ice right here, and put a little yellow wool down for like a sun, because that's the direction it sets. So I think it looks nice. Put some dark down on this side and on the bottom. Put some gray down, mix it in, and put some white on top, make it lighter, of course. Put another sun down on this side, just as you can see the sun rises on this side. I think that's a really nice effect. I don't know about you, but I decided to put some ink and green down on this side right here and make it a cool little checkered pattern. And black and yellow, right? I mean, they don't call them whiz for nothing. But I put some gradient down and decide that I'm actually gonna put some paintings on this wall. And I get one of the new paintings really early, which is awesome. I've never seen this painting before. It's kind of creepy. I like it. But I decided to put another painting up here, and I like I wanted a 2x2 one instead of 2x1 one instead of 2x2 one, and then I put a little stump down right here and moved my actual torch right there, and I think this bedroom has really come together. I strip it to make it a little bit different, and I fill in some foundation right there, and I want to expand a little bit over here, and because it's flat, I don't really want it flat, so I put some lava down and flood it, and I'm a little wary about it because the wool, but I'm done it before, and oh, it was a bit scary, but I get a lot of foundation down in that one go, so that's awesome. And then so I go again, try and do it again, but I really don't want to light on fire, so I think about putting stone down, and putting stone down instead of cobblestone, because I try to flash it, and it instantly gets out of control, and my house is burning down. I am panicking. I lose a bit of magenta, and I barely get it out before the entire thing erupts in flames, and I was shaking at this point. Unfortunately, I never get a magenta again, so I just place all the cobblestone I have down, and now I have to figure out something else to do over here. And so I decide, what do you do on the side of a house when you don't know what to do? Hot tub? Yeah, hot tub. So I install some terracotta down here to make it look some nice, but I don't have enough terracotta to do all of it terracotta, so I hesitate, put some down there, and I decide to put some cherry wood on that side because there's dirt on the other side, and top it off with white and fill it in, and yeah, I think that's a pretty nice hot tub. I had to do something on this side, right? And the hay bale's here, so I don't have to worry about that. And I put a little step in right there to hide the dirt. And of course, and I think that looks nice. Put a little step in right here, put a step in right here, and put one right there. And then place my last cobblestone right there. And I even put a little diving board and go wee, and break my legs. Wee, there, that's a little bit better. Alright, and I just, splish splash and having fun in my hot tub. I was really happy about it. Put a little wheat farm down just for aesthetics right next to this one. Leave that little grass there. I changed my mind and actually placed some too tall grass right there. And I, of course, used the item just to flex on you for how rich I am. Because, of course, that is the rarest item in the game. Go inside and I check out my house, and I think it really came together. Ignore that wool. But I never showed this custom tree because it was a day I wasn't recording. But I put a little pond down because it looks like garbage. So I'm going to try to make it look better. If I get some green wool, I should put some green wool down. I'm thinking about it while making this video. But the rest of the day, just spent harvesting my wheat and trying to get a lot of emeralds. And yeah, I'm just running around enjoying my house, just looking at everything I've built, and because it's now day 90 and 10 days left, and it's a great time to go pee. Alright, the next morning I work on my beetroot farm and expand it, and then head to the shepherd's village and sell my beetroot that I've been harvesting, which in case you're wondering why. And on my way back I found even more dogs, and I breed them up and get a new puppy. Um, I make it home, and I decide that I use my little iron that I've been able to collect from like zombies and such to repair the iron golem that has spawned in my village. The next morning I of course get to work on my chores, harvesting the wheat, slaughtering the pigs, even though it really isn't worth it very much. But especially when they're being annoying, God. I of course plant the seeds back next to your mom and sell all of my potatoes and wheat that I've harvested, and enjoy the day. I would like to, but I just heard thunder, and I'm not sure if lightning can strike in a savannah because obviously it can't rain. But once I see some lightning in the distance, I decide to just not take a chance and just go to sleep because I don't want to burn my house down. The next morning, I get up and give the villagers some food to breed, and realize that I hear something, and it's that my farmer has fallen into the sheep pen. Lucky he's not dead, and I don't have anywhere to cure him right now, and he's a pain to get out, so I ended up just abandoning him in there, hoping he'll get out on his own. I left a staircase, of course, for him, so what he has to do is flood the place with zombies, and they just snuck up on me while I was farming my potatoes, and there's a lot of them. Luckily, it's not as many as last time,
but I have an iron golem now. Luckily, I just healed him, so he helps me take good work in the axe that my toolsmith that one that sells me my hose gave me makes good work of him. So we take care of him, and I take it as a sign from the world that I should definitely go to bed because I've been staying up past my bedtime. So of course I kick a child out of my house and go to sleep. And the next morning, I realized that I was a new villager, new farmer, and I only have one composter, so I'm kind of confused. And so I, of course, just selling my potatoes and my wheat because I gotta make money somehow. Then my other farmer comes up, and I realized what happened when my farmer fell out of the village. He lost his composter, and this guy must have stolen it. So I guess I have two of them now. But my master one can't refresh his trades without another composter. That's something I'll I guess have to deal with in the future, but not right now. Right now, I have a date with a different villager, so I stop and make a new map for the north of my village, and of course, remember to grab another lava bucket because that's really valuable, and head to the ruined village by nighttime and kick a nitwit out of bed. And I go and look for the armor because it's time to start working towards my diamond armor. I've saved up a bit of emeralds, so I just buy as much as I can and even use some of it. But once I get him leveled up, he starts selling me pants, which is awesome because I didn't have any. And so I just throw them on the ground, and I even unlock shields, which is awesome. I'm very excited about that. What's more exciting though is my first piece of diamond armor. It is so amazing getting to cover me in diamonds or whatever achievement when I'm just hopping around. And I chose diamond boots because that's always the first armor I make. Um, and yeah, it just makes me so happy. And I head home, kill all the cows, and on the way there, just in case I find another butcher that buys beef. And I remember to stop by a village that I can in the map app and steal all of the torches, which is unfortunate for them because this might be an abandoned village after I leave. But that's not my problem. So I hop my way home with my new torches, and I decide to place my new chiseled stone bricks down on my house because new block, which me is just really exciting. So I place them down, and I not sure how it's gonna come together, but Vaughn's way, as Eva would say. And I put some torches down in the pig pen, making sure there's no dark spots. And there is no dark spots here, but I don't like it, so I put one down anyway. And I just put a few more around the village, and then take a step back and enjoy my beautiful, beautiful old place I built up in 96 days without mining or crafting anything. I then put some more rose bushes down by my house, and just want to make the place look as beautiful as possible before day 100. Of course, I still want the rest of my diamond armor. I don't really care about a helmet because I have a pretty face, right? Then I harvest my potatoes, and I of course remember to plant them, even though they're not as good. I am maxing out my villagers now, so I just have to harvest them. That's why I started farming beetroot, and I of course remember to sell my meats that I collect. We are really gonna go fly by these last few days because all it was me constantly farming, constantly harvesting, constantly selling, constantly shearing from sun up till sundown. And well, even after the sunset, I still was working, and you can see the sheep that I missed are still hanging out with me. And I'm just trying to get as much emeralds as possible because I don't know how much I'm gonna have, or sorry, how much I'm gonna need. And I even get a little nod from the farmer because I'm doing so much work with them. And yeah, I just keep on selling. I try out, and I decided to try out their suspicious foods they sell because what if it's a really good food item? And blindness, of course it would be. Why wouldn't it be? And this one is poison because why wouldn't I get the one that gets you max saturation? Of course, well, I guess they don't like me after all. But I hopped to the abandoned village, or not abandoned, the ruined village, and buy myself some new pants, which is awesome. Half diamond armor now, and I have to unfortunately waste a bunch of emeralds trying to get it. I maxed out the shields, everything, trying to get him maxed out, and I realized this fisherman can sell me buckets, so I have infinite buckets now, which is amazing to have. And I am out of emeralds though, so I go to head back home and get right back to work of mining all the way through day 99. Because tomorrow, well, it's the big 100, which is surreal to think about. So everything was worth it trying to kill me. Even at night now, I'm in water because that Enderman is trying to murder me. But it won't stop me from enjoying the sunrise of my day 100. Alright, here we go. I load into the world and have to deal with the Enderman now, making sure it's day 100, of course, because I don't want to do this wrong. The water bucket clutch get jump scared in the anime. I'll be honest, it was a while. From day 99 to 100, I forgot about him. So I kill him really quickly and just, well, not, I try and kill him at least. I actually end up flooding this entire bottom area so he won't be able to kill me. And I get him, but he does end up giving me a really awesome item, and it is a grass block, which is the only way I can get it, because even if I get silk touch, I can't mine. So I end up selling all of my emeralds and heading out to the village. I wanted to have it before day 100, but I hope now finally, if I buy a couple leggings and a pair of boots, I can finally get a diamond chest plate, which means creepers are no longer gonna be a problem. Unfortunately, I am a little bit short on emeralds, so I do something I never do in Minecraft, and that is take advantage of an iron golem. And I actually fall off, and worried my dog is gonna get killed, but he ends up killing it and giving me just enough iron I to trade with the villager to get a little bit more emeralds to finally get my diamond chest piece. And there we go, basically full diamond armor. I mean, I don't have a helmet, but again, I don't want a helmet. I even throw my leather one away. And thank you guys for making it this far. I expand my house just a little bit more because wanted to I might put a second story on it, but I don't think so. I don't even think I'm gonna put a roof. I might just call it done here, but I want to make it sure it looks nice, and it looked unfinished. So I add a bit of white wool around, a second layer of white wool around the entire thing, and it's just finishing up touches and cheering even as the sun rises. Well, thank you guys for watching the video. If you made it this far, well, I guess you liked it. So no, I had a lot of fun making this, and I mean, it was a struggle, definitely a struggle sometimes, but I really did enjoy it. This is actually something I've wanted to do for many years, since at least like Minecraft 1.9 or something, and I don't really know how to do a world download, but if anyone really wants it, I guess I can do it. Felt a lot of pressure trying to get this out. I took way too long in making it. I wanted to get it out well before Frieza Day, but it is now late July, and I hope it was worth it, and I hope to see you again. Oh, and yes, I did put that back in creative. No, I didn't do that in my world. I will do that immediately though. toodaloo.